Hey friends! This is the third look in my 21 Pilot series, and it's inspired by the lyrics of 3 different songs from the album Vessel. Let's get going! The first song for this Vessel look is Holding On To You. To represent the lyric, tie a noose around your mind, I'm painting a rope around the top of my head. And I'm starting this by outlining the rope using a brown brow pencil. I go over my rough outline using brown body paint. I mixed brown, yellow, and white body paint to create this tan color, which I then used to fill in the rope. When that dried, I used brown to paint random lines throughout the rope to create texture. I also added lines in yellow and orange body paint. I outlined the rope again, this time using black body paint. And then took black eyeshadow to create a shadow underneath the rope, as well as shadows within the rope itself. Holding On To You portion complete. On to the next song. This next chunk is obviously inspired by the song Guns for Hands. I start with outlining the shape of a gun on my hand, and then fill it in with black body paint. When it dried, I used a light gray paint to create a highlight along the top of the gun, and blended that with my finger. I used the same gray to paint on the handle, since the picture I was referencing had a textured plate on the handle of the gun. I used black to create a cross-hatched texture along the handle, as well as little decals on the top and bottom of the gun handle. Guns for Hands finished. Now for the last song. This last part of the look comes from the song Car Radio, and the lyric, Sometimes Quiet is Violent. I used liquid latex and tissues to cover my mouth, waiting until the very last layer of tissue to put latex over my actual lip area, to avoid as much discomfort as possible. I ended up using 4 layers of tissue for this. When the latex was dry, I powdered it, and then used a concealer slightly darker than my skin to cover the area. This will make it easier to blend into the skin, instead of placing foundation directly over a lighter surface. I then used my foundation to cover the area and blend that into my face and neck. And then powdered it again. Using an old red lipstick, I marked out an X over my mouth and blended that with my finger. I took black eyeshadow and placed it in the center of the X to create depth in the cut, and then covered that in Scab Blood. You can definitely use latex and tissues or cotton to create three-dimensional edges to the cuts, but I dislike the feeling of latex on my mouth already, and I like the simplicity of how this looks. And that's the finished look, inspired by the lyrics of 3 songs off of one of my favorite albums of all time, Vessel by 21 Pilots. See you next time, friends, and thanks for watching.